Today I'm going to be ranking possible names for Nintendo's next console, from leaks to concept names to even names I came up with myself. I'm going to be ranking these based on how realistic they are, how good they are for Nintendo, based on marketing, and just how cool or catchy I find them. But I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty hypocritical and I probably won't even end up following these rules. I know that we most likely already know the name because of the leaks, but let's just rank these for fun anyway. Nintendo Switch Advance. I know a lot of people like this one because it's a callback to the Game Boy Advance, but I'm sorry, it sounds like a Nintendo Switch Pro Edition. It just does. It's kind of like the Wii U problem. People aren't going to know that it's a new console. It's a C, I'm sorry. Nintendo 4DS. Okay, I kind of put this in my list as a joke, my really ugly list with my, just look at how ugly my handwriting is. But I kind of put it in as a joke. But then when I was thinking about it, 4DS, if the rumored joysticks that are kind of like 4D-ish, if you know what 4D is, then it wouldn't be that bad. But obviously they're not going to do that, so let's just put it at D because that's not realistic. Nintendo Switch Attach. This one is horrible. I'm sorry. I know it was popular when it was like leaking or people thought it was leaking, but Nintendo Switch Attach, it sounds like an attachment. I guess if the next console has an attachment, then it's pretty good, I guess, but it's Wii U all over again. It's Nintendo Switch Attach. It does not sound like a new console. It just sounds like an attachment, literally attached. Nintendo Focus. I really like this one, but only if what the concept is doing is true. And the concept kind of looks like the Nintendo Switch connecting to the screen without even being docked. So kind of like a Wii U, but you have two screens, I guess, or maybe it would be like a Wii U. I don't know. If that concept was to be true, I would like this name. It would be cool. I'd give it an A. But because we don't really know, I'd give it an A still just because we have like no A's anyway. So new Nintendo Switch, kind of like the new Nintendo 3DS, but that wasn't even really like a new console. That was more like a Pro Edition. So same thing here. I guess it is new, so people would think it's a new console, but it's like a Pro Edition and also new. It's just, that's a horrible name. It kind of makes sense. It's just really bad though. I'll give it a C. It sucks. Nintendo Switch Flip / Nintendo Flip. I really like this name. One problem, it kind of just sounds like an attachment. But if it's just called Nintendo Flip, not Nintendo Switch Flip, then I think it'd be really good, especially if the concept was to become reality with a second screen and you'd be able to flip it or fold it. Then it could be Nintendo Fold. But I really like that name, but only if that becomes a reality. And I'm not sure that's going to become a reality, but I'll still give it an A just because I want to give credit to these creative names, not just, so Nintendo Flip, I'll give it an A. Super Nintendo Switch. I kind of like this name because of the reference to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, but let's be honest, it sounds like a Pro Edition, Super Nintendo Switch, and I know people like to argue that, well, it worked for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, but that was back in the 80s where Pro consoles didn't even exist, or 90s, whatever. So nowadays, I just think people will be a little confused by it, at least the casual market, but the Nintendo fans would probably get it. So it's kind of a fun name, but I just think it's not likely at all, unrealistic, and also it'd be bad for marketing reasons. So I'm gonna have to put it at C. I think what they could do is when they release the Switch 2, they could release a special edition Super Nintendo Switch console. That way everybody wins. People who wanted the Super Nintendo Switch name, they get this special edition, kind of cool Super Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo still gets a good marketable name with Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Connect. Okay, this one is pretty much like Nintendo Focus if the extra button on the Joy-Con was to be used to connect with the TV without a dock, essentially. And if that was the case, I think it would be a good name. It's just not that catchy or like cool. It's just like a basic word, Connect. Also, wasn't Connect for Xbox. I like Nintendo Focus better. It's okay though if that concept was real. I'll put it at C, I guess. Now I'm gonna just speedrun some that don't even sound like a new console. They just sound like a Nintendo Switch Pro / OLED, whatever. So Nintendo Switch Plus, and that one sucks. Nintendo Switch version 2, really? That doesn't even sound like a Pro. It just sucks. But so I don't know why I put it here. But Nintendo Switch Pro. Okay, that one is literally named in Nintendo Switch Pro. Nintendo Click. I saw this one on Twitter and at first I didn't like it, but it's kind of grown on me. Nintendo Click. The reason they named it that is because of the rumored clicking on Joy-Cons, and it's kind of clever. I like it. I just don't like the name. It just doesn't sound that good. Nintendo Clicks, just not that catchy. I'd give it like a B, but it's kind of similar, like one that I came up with myself. Nintendo Switch Ounce. Okay, this one is confirmed to be its name, but also confirmed to not be its name because This is the code name. I can't be bothered to explain why we know that, but just trust me, it is. And it's also not the name because, again, it's the code name, so why would it be the final name? In terms of its name itself, it sounds cool, Switch Ounce, but like why, what's the reason? Is the marketing even that good? No, I don't think so. So I'll put it in C because it sounds nice, I guess, and also it's the code name, so we'll leave it at C. Nintendo Switch. Okay, this one is a little silly, but I kind of like it just because it reminds me of the Splatoon 2 thing when people were saying Splatoon with the 2 and the tune, but I don't think it's gonna happen, obviously. Nintendo Switch, it's just a little silly, but that's kind of why I like it, so I'll leave it at, let's put it at C. Come on, let's be real. The Nintendo Swap, I kind of like this one. One problem, Switch and Swap is like the same thing. So you go from Nintendo Switch to Nintendo Swap, and what are we swapping? Are we like swapping screens like how the Switch does? Are we like swapping something else like USB-C ports on the top? Are we swapping something with that? Is like, I don't know. It's just like, it's kind of just the same thing. Switch and Swap, same thing. It's okay, I guess. It would probably work, so B. Nintendo Switch Up. I don't really like this one. Nintendo Switch Up, I mean, like, what are we switching up? Is it like the new console? We're switching things up, but it's like, it's a Nintendo Switch 2. It's not like we're switching that much up. And also, it has a U. I'm traumatized, I'm sorry. Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, I know this name is considered very boring and basic to a lot of Nintendo fans, but let's be honest, it makes the most sense. It's the best for marketing reasons. It's very obviously a new console, Nintendo Switch 2. It's not that catchy, but it doesn't sound bad. Nintendo Switch 2, I mean, it sounds fine. It's not bad. It's not that cool either. And obviously, it's the most realistic because not only all of the leaks, but even before that, I think it was the most realistic. So just naturally, it has to be S tier, mainly because of the leaks. Wii U 2. Nintendo Snap. Okay, I actually came up with this one myself. It's kind of like the Nintendo Click one. Snapping, like the Joy-Con snapping on. I think it sounds catchy. I like it, Nintendo Snap. But I don't know that Nintendo would name a console after the Joy-Cons. Nintendo Snap. I don't know. But I don't know. Snap, you're like snapping it on. I like it a little better than the Click. But let's be honest. I'm just being biased. I'm putting it A. But really, I want to put it in S. Nintendo Switch Evolution. I actually came up with this one myself. I kind of like it, but it does kind of sound like a Pro Edition rather than a new console, Nintendo Switch Evolution. But it does kind of sound like a new console. I kind of like it, but it would be a little hypocritical of me if I put it that high. But I am a hypocrite, so I'm going to put it at a B. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay, so there's my final rankings. Comment if you agree or disagree with it. You probably disagree, but also comment any ideas or name suggestions that you've thought of, because I'm actually interested in seeing your guys' ideas.